So you've got that room in the house where the floor just annoys you. Maybe it's an old patchy carpet. Maybe it's lino and you fancy something a bit newer. Well, the man with the answers and the ideas is Michael O'Rourke, who is manager at Tullamore Carpets and Flooring. Good morning.
Good morning, Will. It's lovely this summer's morning.
It is, thank heavens. Thank
Yes.
heavens indeed. Let's talk, and you were putting on the sales pitch there a minute ago, because I was telling you we had a kitchen with lino and we've since replaced it, and you were telling me about this lovely wool carpet that you could put in the sitting room, nice under the feet and nice and warm and so on. It depends on the use of the room, what you're going to put down.
It does indeed, Will.
Give us some guidance, some
Well,
rules.
if you're a young couple and you have a few young kids, which a lot of young couples have nowadays, and that is a laminated floor will be very, very hard wearing on, say, most areas downstairs. And the laminated floors now come with a water resistant, so which are very good for spills and that. Do you know what I mean? Then you can move along to maybe upstairs, and laminated floor is quite popular as well, easy to keep and no maintenance really. But you can't beat a nice soft wool carpet either, particularly in the winter time of the year. So we found that it's kind of 50-50 as regards carpet and laminated floors. Well, you know what I mean?
Well, originally you were a carpet man.
Correct.
How long are you selling laminate?
Well, selling laminate for approximately the last 15 years. I'm selling carpet since 1980. So that's why I'm really probably a carpet man. But I had to move with the times, should we say. And the laminate has got very popular, and semi-solid and solid floors as well will be for very, very popular for, say, a sitting room, living room mostly, you know what I mean? But the laminated floors came in roughly around 15 years ago. Practical, hard wearing, easy to keep. That's really the points that I would kind of always say, well, you know what I mean, as such.
Well, it can be horses for courses. Carpet in the bedroom, for instance,
Correct.
is nice when you're stepping out of the bed and at our age, and you need to go to the toilet a bit more in the middle of the night, rather than putting the feet down onto cold laminate.
Correct, and right.
Conversely, though, carpet tends to be more dusty. The laminate,
it can be a myth, Will, about the dust. You know what I mean? It settles down into the pile of the carpet, and it can be hoovered quite goodly. Where on the laminated floor, if you put a pair of shoes under the bed, take them out after about 2 weeks, you will see the shape of the foot of the shoe there. So there is dust as well, and they said that can be floating around in the room. So they did a survey in Sweden going back 20 years ago when I was selling carpets and all that is, and they found a carpet in a bedroom made no difference regard asthma or anything like that.
Really?
Floor. People doesn't know that, but I don't go into that too much. If people come into me and they want a laminated floor for a bedroom, I don't start saying, why don't you get a carpet? But carpet has come back big time in the last 5 or 6 years, particularly in the winter time of the year, and nice soft carpets you see when you get out, and noise as well. A lot of people say that as well, you know, for nice, put a bit of nice underneath it can be very, very practical. But there's toes and fro's, well, shall we say so. It's really what the customer really likes.
So let's talk more about the laminate then. Grey was very popular. Is it still?
Well, it still is quite popular, all right. Years ago, if you looked at a grey carpet or that, people would say very cold, and that is, but no, grey is very, very popular still for some reason. I do like the greys. They have improved colour-wise, deeper greys and different types of greys, believe it or not, you know, like there's 40 shades of green, so probably do the same with the grey as well. So it is very, very popular. But you'll always sell the nice oak floor as well, and you know, mahogany and walnut will still, you know what I mean? But grey would be 80%.
Okay, but let's say you're in the camp that finds grey dull and boring and you want something else. What else is popular?
In the laminated will? Well, yeah, the walnut was very, very popular there for a while. Probably oak. You'll always sell a lot of oak in the laminated as such. Herringbone now is big at the moment, very, very large.
Tell us more about herringbone.
And chevron there as well. But the herringbone, it's nice, all right. Sitting rooms mostly now will, or hallways or that, you know what I mean? It's just trends, really. So, you know, I just see all these trends coming and going. Like herringbone was big there in the real timber floors there for a while. And, you know, it's a little bit more expensive as well, Will. So that's the only main difference with it. But it's just a trend as well.
How long do the trends last?
The last probably 5 or 6 years, though the grey has lasted longer than I thought now as such. But they are moving away from the greys now. You can see it in carpet that the solid colours are coming back in now again. But, you know, it's just trends, as I keep saying. That's really the way it is.
Lisa says the hall in her house is where she has had to replace the flooring most often. Tried carpet at first, very quickly got rid of the carpet. The hall is a high traffic area in most houses.
It is indeed. I wouldn't really be recommending carpet for a hallway, to tell you the truth.
I think she's found that out the hard way, yeah.
The LVT now, not people might know about the LVT. It's a kind of a fancy name, luxury vinyl tile. very, very hard wearing. The only little issue is that you have to have the floor extremely smooth to put on it. So it can work out expensive to get that done. You can't really put down on a floor and it's extremely smooth. But I would be advising LVT stuck down, should have it for a lifetime.
And do you have the same range of looks
You
and
would have the
appearances?
same range of looks as real timber or tile effect will, and you know, I mean, the very same as laminated, really, only that it's a vinyl that's scratch resistant, you could say. Really, really, really hard wearing.
Yeah, listener says you can still have the best of both worlds. Get your laminate floor or your hardwood floor, but put down a rug, which is true.
Well, I agree with that to a point, because I'm going to say that because I sell rugs as well, so to complement the timber floors and that, all right. Yes, she has a very good point there, all right. You know, and get some very, very nice rugs now as well, which we have in the shop below as well. You know what I mean? Well, so yes,
and it is a cheaper way of changing the appearance.
It is.
You simply change the color of the rug.
It is, but carpets are hard to keep on hallways, you know, where you just walk in off the street, or, you know, if you're in a country house with as well, you know what I mean? They can be hard wearing on it, but you know, townhouses now, the older generation people, I'm talking about people I dealt with 30, 40 years ago, they're in their 80s probably now, nice estates around Tullamore, and they'd swear by carpet.